Hey everyone. Just give me a second, having some troubles with OBS. All right, all right, today's FOMC at 2 o'clock. We've got news coming out at 8:15. ADP non-farm employment change, red impact news. At 8:30, we have unemployment claims. So for the first 30 minutes of today's morning, I'm most likely not going to execute anything. I'm just going to review price action. And because FOMC is today, the rule that I have and that ICT has is all trades to be closed by 10:30 and trading to be stopped at 10:30, because that's when things get a bit wild and a bit unpredictable. I'm going to quickly check my FX book as well to see if anything else is on today's calendar. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's just 8:15 and 8:30 news. Okay. First half manipulation PM distribute. Yeah, FOMC is definitely, I haven't watched it today. How was it though? Excellent. Yesterday, I watched his first video. Did I get much out of it? Personally, I didn't. Let's see here. So open my notes here from yesterday's video. Yeah, he talked about his first video was RTH gaps. How to not pick tops, how to wait for the market to produce and turn lower, and then to essentially use macros to drive price down. And he talked about how the first quadrant of the RTH gap is a high probability draw, but the easiest target to open, which is the opening price, is the low hanging fruit. So those were like the big things that I guess he focused on for the first video. New York midnight opening range standard deviation. Oh, nice. See that all I know right now is at midnight to 12:30, that's essentially the RTH gap, if we can call it that, like the opening range for the London session. Yeah, the first 30 minute. Yeah. But I haven't used any standard deviations from that yet. So excited to listen to it, to see what he has to say. Okay. Let's do a quick breakdown here. So today is Wednesday. Price essentially went into the lower half of this weekly wick. It's pushing lower. Week's halfway done, so I usually see what it's trying to create. From a daily perspective, price never managed to even get halfway up to like the day before's wick. So it got into this daily SIBI, this 1 hour SIBI on the lower time frame. It dropped lower. It pushed. Here we have oh man, this chart's getting cluttered. I have to remove some of this stuff. This stuff we can remove. We did have this is a volume imbalance here. right? Where there is a pretty massive gap from the open to the close here. Let me call this a daily VI. You can see how price is reacting to it on the lower time frame. This I can get rid of. And right now, like from a daily perspective, is price going to find support at this bullish order block, or is it most likely going to drive to these daily relative equal lows before hitting these relative equal highs above? So right now, I'm just based on what I'm seeing here and this rejection, price right now is looking for the next level of inefficiency or liquidity, and it may be this level right here, essentially 2100, 21,000. Let's see what's happening on the lower time frame. Using 6 minutes. So price yesterday went into, oh, this is Monday, sorry. Yeah, I went back into the 1 hour SIBI, it broke down lower, a lot of bearish pressure, breaking through this 1 hour fair value gap. They used the daily VI as inversion. You can see it rejected it here, broke down, used it as inversion, dropped down lower. What it did today in the morning or at Asia, it created relative equal highs here. It broke or essentially took out the liquidity from those, and it dropped lower. And right now price is sitting at the weekly volume imbalance, which provided a lot of support on Friday before rallying up. So what do we want to see after the news? Maybe we'll have a push lower into the weekly VI and taking out these relative equal lows. Do we see price going higher? If it would, why would it? These relative equal highs here were already taken from an interim perspective. It already rejected the daily VI. So the only thing I can see price going into with news is we do have like this fair value gap here. This SIBI, let's mark it as red. Yeah, I'll have a look right in GB what you said here. I'm just going to finish this up. SIBI. So right now here, this is something that is catching my interest. What did he say? So it's kind of what I want to see, a news, something like this, or if it leaves it open, all the better, but a breakdown, that'd be optimal for today. The 5-minute IFVG is going to get filled and long till 21448, 21448. So you think that these highs are going to take in here? All right, well, let's see what price is going to do. On a 15-minute perspective, here are these relative equal highs here that were tagged. Right? News at 6 o'clock, spiked up, tagged it out, pushed lower. It broke below a couple of new day opening gaps. Here's a new day opening gap for 108. So that's today's new day opening gap. So right now we're trading below it. And price has rejected. Again, it's just bouncing between these new day opening gaps here and this weekly VI as well. Let's see. Hopefully this stays open. Goes back to these levels, tests them, and then starts pushing lower. And then the terminus for trades today would be right here. It's only how many points away from taking these relative equal lows? 300, quite a lot. news coming out in 2 minutes. On the, let me mark 7 o'clock here on the 1 minute. Started doing this ever since the 2024 mentorship, but the relative equal highs, there's technically some here, but because of this high here and this high here, those are relatively equal. So relatively. Hey, good morning, Douglas. Good, Douglas, I haven't seen you in a long time. We've got relative equal highs here below us. It was interesting. Price actually broke below the end dog of 1-2, popped back up, came to the consequent encroachment of it, and then it's pushing higher. So yeah, liquidity sitting right here as well. And the question is, what's price going to do after the 2 news hits? So here is the 15-minute. This is the 15-minute SIBI. I've just transposed it to the 1 minute. On the 4-hour, price tapped into the weekly VI. There's some bullish order blocks here before this run. So like to GB's point, this could be a possible interim turning point. We get into this FEG here above, and then we start pushing lower, but let's see what price gives us. I do want to see how it's going to react to this level right here. And let me look at the 5-minute chart. Oh, news already hit. It's already it hit 50 seconds ago, so not a lot of movement. Looks like price is finding support and it's pushing higher here. It's not something I'm in love with or I'm going to trade. I'm just noting it right now. You know, price tried to touch consequent encroachment here, failed to do so. Came once again, touched the upper side of this 1 minute BISI. And most likely it might be going to the 70 in price. Got an inversion right here as well. Retracted nicely to the downside. Broke up, and let's see what it's going to do here. If it's going to react to this and go higher. You have news in 13 minutes. Let's see what's happening here on the 15-second chart. We got a bearish. You know what? This is 40 pips to get to these highs here. These are relative equal highs from the open. The thing I don't like is that this high here got taken up by this high. So the relative equal highs would be this one and this one here. Or these two. On the 15-second chart, let's see how these candles respect the upper half of this 15-second fair value gap. If this inversion is going to hold. The body's closed above that CE, all the better. But the moment it closes down here, a lot less interested in taking this long. Are you paying attention to the 4-hour fair value gap that we tapped into looking for sells? 4-hour fair value gap. What fair value? Is it this one right here that you're talking about? Like this big one? This one right here? I'm aware of it. Yeah, I'm aware of it. I know it's there. for me to start paying attention to that, we have to break all this right here, in my opinion. This 15-minute, if I zoom into the 15-minute chart here on the top right, I want us to break into, that's a pretty cool reaction, but I am not in love with it. We have to break past all this and then go higher, and then I'm going to start looking for further shorts, but I do want to see how price can react from these levels. So this 15-second fair value gap has been fully filled in. Are these great reactions from it? The 1 minute, you can create SMT with that 50-minute highs. I'm just curious how this next candle is going to close in relation to the CE of this fair value gap here. Not a great target in my opinion, but let's see what the 5 minutes doing. So the 5 minute is, price pushed higher, possible breakaway gap. Might want to fill that in. Not sure, but let's have a look here. The 1 minute is pushing higher. I'm going to take a quick long. Let's see here. I'm going to aim for this right here. I took this way too late into the run, but it's like a 1.3 to 1. See if I'm right. Relative equal highs above us forming. He's coming out in 9 minutes. I do want to see this fair value gap hold here. I do like how we're reacting to this level right here, this inversion, how the body's closed above it. Classification, probably say like a B trade, B minus. But we are in bullish order flow here. Large portion of this fair value gap has been left open, not filled. I'm going to push to break even once we push these highs here. As I just want to see a push higher. Like once you break this, I just want to go straight to these relative equal highs. I'm already showing my stop a bit here. Stop loss is right below the midpoint of this fair value gap here. I don't want to see it come back down to this level. Okay. And I'm going to start a quick trail here. I just want to see it go straight up from here. $285. Once it reaches this high, I'm going to do a partial. It's going to be partial 1. At what level? Stops at break even right now. Just has to tag this level. Is it at the right level? I think. Uh, my stop is sitting right here at this red line. So it's below the, and you know what? I'm going to be aiming for this right here. I'm going to do one. Perfect. And I'm out. Did it copy? Yeah, it did copy. My followers pulled 307 and my leader 287. All right, we've gone using 6 minutes. Thank you, thank you. To be honest, a better trade here would have been getting in right here, like once it on the 15-second came higher and came back down to this fair value gap into this upper half of this 1 minute. But I think my entry could have been a lot better. I'm gonna be right back in 2 minutes, guys. I just gotta take care of one quick thing, but let's wait to see what 830 is gonna do. Let's see how it's gonna react. Look how this is the 4 hour here. The 1 hour is looking pretty interesting here. Let's see how it's gonna react to this fair value gap here. But like what GB said, like can these highs be ran? Possibly, but I just want to see how, like, let price give us the breadcrumbs before we execute our next trade. It's bro. All right. News kicking in right now. See what price is going to do here. So right now we're in the 830 macro. It's commencing. Let's see. So it rejected this level nicely. This end dog went to. It's going into today's UD opening gap here. That was like a draw. And then let's see. There's one more thing that this trade was pulling towards the new dog of 108. That's something I missed, but it was the strongest end dog being today's. So price it topped this fair value gap. What we want to see here is like the majority of the stay open. If like I would want to see price break the consequent encroachment of it. Oh my gosh, it's cough. But let's see here. A30 macro. Which are the macros? Are they? Yeah. So every single hour has 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after. So like 8:50 to 9:10, 9:50 to 10:10, etc. The one that has the most volume is the 9:50 to 10:10. Like that's like the most impactful macro there is if you look at volume profiles. What 8:30 is, I can't tell you the exact term, but it's when the market can do two things at 8:30. It either spools to a price or it does nothing till 9:30. So it's something you should be aware of. A lot of the pushes that we get in the market happen at 8:30, pre 9:30 open. So something to be aware of. Yeah. Exactly. And 8:30 uses that catalyst for that run. So that's why 8:30 is like a significant, like from like 8:30 to like 9:10. You know, I do keep my eyes out, but usually from 9:10 to 9:30, I do not trade, and then I trade after 9:30. That's why we're waiting for price to do something here. Right now, it rejected a second time, at least on the 1 minute, the 15-minute fair value gap. It's rejecting these undocs here. This is nice, like these candy closures, this candle closures. Price right now looks like this to be pushing down, but we'll see. See the 5 minute quickly. Tapping into this volume imbalance, taking out 955 highs, or sorry, 655 highs. There's the push lower off of these levels. This is something that we want to see. We have like this like tiny volume imbalance right here on the 15-minute. Watch that. It's pushing it to this level that we went long from. Price is creating fair value up to the downside. So it's displacing. All right, let's try to frame the next possible, I guess, bias on what price is going to do using intraday price action. So this is red. Okay. So looking at the 15-minute and the 5-minute, once price gets below the weekly VI, team shorts until we get to here. Like this is like the last level of resistance that I see that's significant before dropping lower to these lows. So that might be post 930. But let's see when we get pre 930. I like how this high here on the 15-second was higher than the one below it. I don't like when it's the opposite, where this high is higher. It just creates relative equal highs. This is technically almost still relatively equal, but it's just nice to see something like that on 15-second. And the reaction, like getting a reaction like that off of NDOGs once, twice, like this is something that I do want to see. Yeah, this is technically, if you want to look at it, this is technically the breaker here. This right here is breaker. This is like the bearish break, the bearish breaker, but technically it's just this. This is the strongest candle, most sensitivity to it. Price might want to actually go to this level right here. There's like a VI here. We'll see. Technically, I do like these reactions. But I'm not convicted right now that we're just going to blast lower from here. We could. Like, I just want to see a bit more from the market. Okay, so right now it's at the breaker. Price here on the 15-second, it's sitting on the lower half of this first fair value gap here. To be honest, like that. Let's take a small short here. Thinking right now, thinking. Yeah, maybe that was it for the break. See here on the 1 hour, price went directly to the CE and just dropped lower. Let's see if we get one more push higher here before dropping again. Might not be the case. But that's what I'm waiting for. This VI right here, this is something that I wanted to see tapped before dropping lower. Right now it's 8:38. Sergio, did you catch the short? What to hit this breaker? It was very sound, the trade. It's just I can't materialize what was stopping me from taking it. I can't take it now, it's too late. Gonna have to be like sub 1 minute catching. No, I'm not comfortable with this here. Yeah, I'm short targeting 15-minute volume balances. Oh, the 15-minute volume balance? Yeah, right here. If it comes back up and it rejects this level like once again and the body goes below it, I will go short. It's creating relative equal lows below us. It's not like price went down here. It touched the weekly VI and it rejected. It's just sitting between these two levels here, right? So we're essentially scalping between these these levels here. Today's also FOMC as well. On the 15-minute, price action is still bullish, right? See, bear shorter blocks, bullish push, bullish order blocks, bullish push. Right now, price is sitting at this level right here, which is just broke, which is good to the downside, right? This is the consequent encroachment of this gap here, which is a wick. But I think it's going to start. And then let's see how it's going to react to this right here. Let's see if price is going to give us a second entry going down. Price right now is, the bodies are just sitting on the upper half of this BISI. Where it's from 349. 349. You took it right here. Yeah, it's yeah, right at the cusp. I'd probably, would I break even from here with like this kind of rejection? This might like if I was in this trade, I think I'd be pulling it down already. I wouldn't want to see it reverse from here, take me out. If it does, then I'll probably try to re-enter higher. But let's see what it does. Let me map this fair value gap here to see how it's reacting. So you can see all the bodies right now are still sticking above the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap here. These are relative equal lows that it's creating. It's engineering possible liquidity to the downside, even though that it's rejecting this fair value gap. So let's see what price is going to do now. Yeah, especially like on FOMC days. Sometimes it's better to catch things pre than post. Like we have a very small window coming up from 9:30 to 10:30 to catch something. But I do want to catch like a 3-to-1 at least. Like I'm not going to be doing 1-1s for my next trade. Let's see what price. Here on the 15-minute, we've got this volume imbalance, right? See what price did here. Went into it, passed it by a bit, dropped lower. Right now, here's a negative confluence for going short. Here's a bullish order block, right? The price right now is essentially pushing into it. Sorry about my voice. It's really raspy today. And right now it's pushing higher. So I want to see how it's going to react to this, like consequent encroachment right here. I can throw a couple more levels here, but I'm not going to. Like we do have this right here is, sorry, it's getting messy here, but I'll show you guys the levels the price can react to. Here is IFEG, inversion fair value gap. You can see it rejected to the upside and then back to the downside. How long have I been trading? I've been doing altogether, I think 8 years, around there. When Bitcoin was at 4K, so do the math. Maybe a bit longer. But I've been doing futures for a year and a half now. So it's the newest market. It's my favorite market. And after I got into NQ, I completely stopped trading Forex. How old am I? I'm 30. 30. Yeah. I started trading when I was 11 years old. instead of Lego, I decided to look at the charts. Yeah. True consistency for me was found a year ago. And once you guys find it, if you guys are there, it's like, that's when you start pushing yourself even harder to become a better version of yourself. So technically right now I can take a payout from Top Step. My accounts right now are just sitting above 2,000. So I can only do 1,000 per account. So that's what, just over five and a half thousand USD I can do. But what it's going to do, it's going to take my trailing drawdown. It's only $1,000 if I do a 50% payout. So I'm going to try to get 2K more in profits before I do my first payout in 2025. So I'll do a 10K payout. Uh, 100%. It's all ICT. I've tried different mentors and whatnot back in the day, and all of them, their mentor was ICT, but they weren't, some of their logic was flawed. And after watching some ICT videos, I'm like, oh, hey, wait a minute. This should be like this. This should be like that. And what I did is I'm like, hold on, let me go back to these, quote unquote, profitable traders that I'm paying a subscription fee for every single month. Let me go to their mentor, ICT, and watch his videos. People complain that they're long-winded, that he blabbers a lot, etc. But after going through hundreds of hours of ICT and really paying attention and not multitasking and taking notes and studying that and backtesting, that's where I found consistency. It's really hard, guys. Don't get me wrong. But I think that's the way to do it. And if right now you guys are like, even like a break-even trader, my recommendation is, I think 2024, that mentorship was the best. I'm watching it right now a second time. My wife is complaining that I spend every single day 18 hours working, but it's all for the better future. And she's seeing these payouts from Top Step, right? So every time you get a payout from Top Step, she kind of quiets down for a bit, right? But then if there's like a 3 or 4 week gap of no payout, start hearing it again. So this is, I think, study ICT, guys. Highly recommend it. And then right now 2025 is coming out. So I'm doing 2024 again and 2025 at the same time. So something that I implemented like right now is like I'm using the consequent quotient of wicks, right? Because wicks are gaps. And it's something that I'm like implementing like as of like 5 days ago. And I'm seeing, and I'm loving how price is reacting. I'm trying to hunt down these mini volume imbalances as well in price on the 15-minute. Price right now kind of died. Like that was like the initial push. So careful, guys, here. From the short here that you took, Sergio, it's 50 minutes to 9:30. It can definitely go down all the way, but I'll let you figure out how you want to manage that risk. So all in all, that's kind of Liam, like my thoughts, right? On education and you becoming a better trader. It's time in the markets, being on the markets every single day from like 8 o'clock to 11, seeing what you can catch. If you're not profitable, do I recommend using a prop firm? Maybe just like one 50K account that costs $50. It's just so cheap, right? Just to keep progress and to keep it somewhat real. You don't have to. You can definitely demo trade, but if I were to do it, I would just do one and just stick to one. And then if it becomes a bit too painful after 2 or 3, then I would definitely stop and just do demos, but just create a track record, journal. But it's mostly like, I think ICT is the key here. Like I watched him real time 2024. He was calling the market live if we're going long or short. And 9 out of 10 times he was right. So I think out of everyone, he's probably the best trader. What did Sergio say? It takes time. I'm at the break-even stage and I realize that you can have a perfect strategy, but you can find consistency in your mental challenges. I can't get rich overnight. Yeah, like earlier this week, I took a losing trade. In my opinion, it was like a C+ trade on live stream. And then my next trade was an A- trade. But because that first trade threw me off, I risked less on a better trade. So I came out to break even or like slightly into positives, but like it's all about psychology at the end of the day, right? So that's how my psyche messes me up. Have I been on tilt yet over the last 2 weeks? No, I haven't. I'm staying pretty calm, which is good. 2.5 months ago, all of my top step accounts were sitting at like 55,000. And within one day, I think I blew 10K. And then tilt kicked in. And guess what? I burned 40K in one day. And because I was just so pissed off. And that was like a crazy downfall of me. So I took like a week off of trading and I'm like, what's wrong with me? I decided to trade in the lowest possible conditions. I was going, no strategy whatsoever. Like if I were to even log those trades, there was nothing. And I'm like, my mind just broke on me. And it happens, right? I'm human. I learned from it. And now you can see me, I'm extremely calm. If something doesn't span out or show itself to me, I'm fine. If I miss yesterday's crazy long, that's okay. We got 230 or how many trading days left in the year. So plenty of time. You have to sift through ICT's videos. You have to sift through them. Yeah. I sift through, if there's things that he's talking about that's important, I take it down to like 1x speed or 1.25. But when I'm sifting, it's at 2x speed. So I'm still receiving what he's saying at a really high speed. But the moment that he starts going into like a subject or something a bit more complex that I'm not aware of, I drop it down to 1x speed. So the 2024 mentorship, I think, is around 100 hours. And I think if you do it correctly, you can get that down to like 80 or 70, right, of your own hours, watching those hours by like sifting through it, right? Just make sure that you guys don't sift or anything. Oh, and by the way, Del, you know how you said yesterday that it's the first fair value gap of Monday that you're correct. I found that. It's in lecture 11. He said the first fair value gap of Monday. Let's find it right now. It should be dragged through for the rest of the week. So where's Monday? Is this Monday the 6th? This is the 6th here. So notes, guys. Every single Monday, take the first fair value gap and extend it right. There you go. So this is a very, very strong fair value gap. And to be honest, look at price here. It created it on this day. Rejection, 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 rejection. So moving forward, that's one of my like rules of trading is the first fair value gap. I am pulling it all the way to Friday. And he also said the first of the month as well. So if we go to the first of the month, right now it's the 25th. That's way too far out, but oh no, it's the 8th. What am I talking about? Let's go to the first here. The 1st of January. I'm just curious how price is going to react to this. And all of you will see it moving forward. So like let's front test it together. I won't even back test it. Here it is. Here's the first fair value gap of the entire year. Let's color this like purple. Purple. Yeah, first FVG of January 2025. Extend right. All right. So right now we're going to be actively forward testing this. Or you know what? Let's see right now how it reacted up until this point. So it did a good job on the 2nd. You can see here on the 3rd, there was reactions to it. Some of them are a bit messier than others, but you can see that their like price is holding. Look at that right there. It broke right through it, came back up. And like, even though that like, we don't, what time is this? 3:30. You can see here that, you know, it's clearly finding support at constant encroachment and going higher here. It's just interesting. Oh, and today we're in it. Look at that. I'm not going to put too much weight on it just because it's very new to me, but it's just going to be on my charts. Maybe let's make it a bit lighter. Maybe something like that. There you go. It's better. Right now we're trading into it. Let's see what we're doing right now for price action. The price went back into the, let me remove some of these lines here. The breaker, right? This is just the first candle. This is a 1 minute fair value gap here. But again, price is having troubles breaking through. We are kind of entering the 850 to 910 macro. It's a macro I rarely trade, to be honest. Or like this time frame, usually from like 9 to 9:30, I don't trade. But look where price did here. First fair value gap. Do you see how it like rejected it? Is it rejecting the first fair value of January, or is it this? It could be both, right? But would I go short right now? I don't think so, just because of this first fair value gap that we just pulled in from January. But right now price is pushing back up here, and let's see what it does. If price breaks below this first fair value gap of January and all these levels, then I think we're going to start exploring lower. But I think that's going to be like a 930 post move. Dell said 2024 is the best. Wise words. Sergio still blown up a few here and there, but then I stopped copying accounts, and that, yeah. So the moment you start copying accounts, the pressure is 5x. So if you're not profitable, do not do 5x accounts. I know it's nice to get 5 times more money per trade, but just do one. And then once you're successful with one and you feel comfortable, add a second one and see how that feels. Okay, get some payouts. And even if you blow them, you have payouts sitting in your account to pay for the next funded challenges. So you're never really pulling from your own bank account. And I think the most important thing is like, do not put a time limit on yourself. Like, oh, I have to be profitable by May of this year. Give myself 6 months. Don't do that, because that adds pressure indirectly, and it's gonna throw you off. Dell, I'm still break even, can grind accounts up to almost passing, but then blow with tilts, not have to pay off, but get better slowly. Yeah. So you got to figure out like what's the source of your tilt there. Is it like FOMO? Is it because you have bills to pay that your current job's not covering? You got to figure out what that is. Is your significant others applying pressure on you, saying that you've been doing this for 5 years and you've gotten nowhere? I've heard that personally. So Dell, try to figure out what that is. And then every time like you approach it, have like a sticky note on your monitor. And every time you start feeling that way, say, okay, time to shut down accounts. I'm feeling tilt. Like, Dell, ask yourself this question. You know, when you're entering tilt, if you were to just to walk away, what would happen? Would you make crazy profits or would you lose crazy profits? Could you link your Apex affiliate? It's Brill. It's in my description of this video. So if you give me 1 sec here. Give me 1 sec here. I'm going on my page right now. I'll bookmark. I'm just double checking that my own live to see. Test 1, 2. Oh, nice. It delays like 3 seconds from when I talk to what you guys hear. This is it right here. It's always going to be in the description of my videos if you guys want to reference it. Right now, there's nothing tradable, to be honest, guys. This is not something that we're short. And from the looks of it, I don't know what price wants to do right now. It can possibly push higher. I don't see any crazy logic right now that's unfolding. And I'll give you guys also my code as well. I'm going to add that to the video. Let's see here. And this code is always going to give you guys the best and highest deal that's available on Apex Trading. So if Apex is doing 9% off, the code's going to do 9% off for you. Exact same. Okay. Like I'm just making some edits to my. I don't know if I can change. But basically, this is Apex code. So there's Apex code, guys. If you want to use it, there's a tiny kickback that comes to me. And as always, I would appreciate that. So right now, nothing of interest, and most likely there's going to be no trades taken in the next 30 minutes. $35. Yeah, it's 90% off right now. Oh, the reset's $35? Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, it's bro. So Monday's first fair value gap is yes, correct. Market opens up at 9:30, and the first true fair value gap is after 9:30. That's right here. You guys want to know which one I used? Right here. January. Oh, hold on. I mapped mines from the second. Oh, it's because the first is a holiday. Silly me. The first wasn't a trading day. So this is right here. It's on the 2nd of January at 9:33. Exactly. That was correct. It can never be on the 9:30 candle. It has to be 9:31 or onwards. Same with the 15-second chart. You have to wait for the 9:31 candle to start printing, to start hunting. This is very satisfying to see, this first fair value gap of 2025 being respected like this. And where's Mondays? Mondays is so far up, I don't even care about it at this point. Let's see what else you guys said. Dell, you watched 2024 and you called out highlighted. Exactly. Team Node DLL. What's DLL? Team No. Let me know what you mean. I deal with so many acronyms that sometimes my brain doesn't connect. Hey, Super Bartek, good morning. Liam, do I trade personal? I used to, but I stopped because once I understood the advantages of using other people's money, aka prop firms, that's when I stopped it. Because I can give to fully get funded on either Apex or Top Step. It's like altogether with like the initial fee plus the activation fee, it's like $150. And I have access to $2,000 of drawdown. So why would I risk my own capital to trade with something that like right now the market's offering? Like, I don't know if prop firms will be available for much longer. We'll see. Like, regulations can change mid next year, and that's when I'm going to go to a personal. But up until then, I'm trading. I am trading prop firm accounts. How long did it take to run up your accounts to 50K? How long? It was a week and a half. Or yeah, roughly a week and a half, Sergio. I just had some really good runs. And then I started scaling very aggressively, where I traded like 2 to 4 minis per trade. And my biggest trade was 25K. That was an insane day. Like closing off, and each of my accounts had 5K USD in it. I felt like a freaking like trading god. My strike rate was high. I was calm. I was collect. Like once you're on a string of winners, it's fear is not impacting you as much, which I think it should to some extent. And then eventually it came to like the apex. I did a withdraw, and then I got greedy, and I'm like, let me do 25K more in the next 3 days. And that's when I started taking B minus C plus positions. I wasn't patient, and then I saw the other side of the equity curve. But I did pull out from Top Step. Paid for all my accounts how much I put in, $1,000 to get 5 accounts. And yeah, so it was like a 25x multiple of my investment. So right now this is another run up here. Currently they're all sitting at 10K. To get to this 10K I'm taking it slow because I'm live streaming. You guys are forcing me to take higher quality trades. And yeah, currently I am at, let's see here. I'm currently sitting at 2.1K per account. So just under 11,000, 10.5K USD. And I'm Canadian. So it's like 13,000 Canadian or 14,000 Canadian. No, it's almost 15,000 Canadian. That's crazy. Minimum wage here is, how much is it now? It's like, I think $17 per hour, which is $3,500 a month. So I've made more in the last 2 weeks than someone minimum wage would make in 1, 2, 3, 4, in almost half a year. So, and trust me, working behind McDonald's and serving up fries is very difficult. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, you guys work so freaking hard. There's so little money. There's something really broken in this world. The correlation between working hard and making more money doesn't exist. GB, what did you say? Re-entry if price closes above 21372. Sorry guys, I'm delayed in the chat. Re-entry. NTP at 448. You're really targeting these highs, eh? I can see so technically you're right. We've got like this here is liquidity. It's essentially, this is engineered highs. Price would want to tag this at some point. I will be comfortable personally taking it like once it breaks higher. Like the run that I want to catch is something like this. Right? Maybe like something like that or something. Again, I'm not sure, but it's this run. I don't want to see like the midpoint being broken or respected, but trading it through. You said that you'd go in at 372. So re-entry. So you want to re-enter here, and price would have to break today's end dog. 931 end dog. This 15-minute SIBI, which we had an institutional order flow drill to the downside, would have to break the CE of the fair value gap and then go higher. We do have relative equal highs here above us. So all in all, GB, can price push here at 930? It could, but until I see some significant momentum and price wanting to break this and using these end dogs as support, maybe that's when I'll start aiming for this liquidity dip here. But this is going to be, I'll put an eyeball here for all of you. It's something of interest, but I think we need to see more to start to materialize trades. Like if you look at the 1 hour here, right? Just looking at price here, it just cleared these equal highs, dropped lower, touched the weekly VI, came back higher. Price closed below the 1 hour CE, and now it's pushing lower again, right? So we'll see what it does at 9:30, 24 minutes. Which 50K account do I recommend? Hold on here. Let me pull up Apex. I know they have a couple. Okay. So when it comes to, so if you're just trading one, which I recommend just trading one, then what I used is this one right here. It's the easiest one. So if you open up, whatchamacallit, TradingView, it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, it's called a Tradeovate account. See Tradeovate? I would do a Tradeovate because you can log in directly into TradingView and trade from here. And it's very easy to trade from TradingView. So if you go to Tradeovate accounts, it would be the 50K full size Tradeovate. That's what I would do. Don't do the static, do the 50K Tradeovate account. And right now it's, I think Superbotics at $35. So once you're logged into Tradeovate and TradingView with that one Apex account, then you essentially create like a target like this, and then you create like an actual order. I don't have the buttons right now because I'm not logged in. Actually, I'll show you how it looks like. Let me get into paper trading here. So for example, you want to go long here, for example. I'm not going long here. This is just showing you guys. I haven't done this in a long time. Let's see here. Am I logged in? Yeah, I'm logged in. Been a while. Create limit. So you do a create limit order. Let's see here on the, oh, you guys can't see it. But anyways, on the right-hand side, I get a window of how many units I want to risk, right? So if this is the NQ chart, you'd have the MNQ chart because you want to trade micros, not minis. And you'd put in your micros. So imagine this is 5 micros here. And then I can either buy it as a limit or I can buy it at market, right? And if you buy it at market, hold on here. Let's try. Looking at my stream right now, real time. So you're logged into Tradeovate on TradingView using your Apex account. And then this is how I trade. I would essentially probably use market a lot. You would adjust your risk, right? So you can see here, if I'm trading 5 micros, it's just 5 minis here. My take profit would be at $14,000 if it hits target, but if it hits stop loss, it's 4,500, right? So something a bit more reasonable would be like 1 mini. So hold on here. Why is this updating correctly? I think you have to do this actually. You have to reset it. It's been a while since I did this, guys. Create limit order. There you go. Now it's, for some reason, now it's updating correctly. You can see right away your stop loss and your take profit. And then when you're ready to execute, you either hit limit or you hit market. So that's how I would do it. And then you hit buy and it's going to buy in either at limit or market. So limit's nice because it shows you exactly how much you're risking and everything. And you can see I'm scaling it up all the way to like 10 units. So it's extremely intuitive to trade. That's how I trade Apex on TradingView. And then once you guys start trading more than one, I'll probably create a video on how to use third-party trade copiers where you place a trade on TradingView, and then in the background, it copies it to 19 other accounts. Oh, yeah, Dell, same here. I really wish Top Step would do this. Like when it comes to Top Step trading, I just guess in my head. Because like when the trade's happening, I add like 3 positions at a time, or like sometimes like one micro until I get to like the correct stop loss, and then my target's whatever that multiplier is. But I really try to get my stop loss at like $200. Oh, daily loss limit. Euphoria is more dangerous than fear. It's really dangerous. When you initially started and were profitable, would your wife and family tell you about trading? It's gambling. You need to stop. My wife doesn't understand this. It takes time. It does take time. Even though my significant other, like at this point, because of the payments that came in over the last year, she believes me now. Like she's on my side. But up until then, like when payments weren't coming through, when I was like, I just need more time. Just give me more time. I'm getting the hang of it. ICT just dropped like this lesson. Like I'm back testing. Just give me till the end of the year. Like it was, at least for me, it was getting stressful. But I'm at a point right now where she's on side and she supports it fully, right? So once you see thousands of dollars just going into the bank account, it's like that. So you have to get to that point. And I think like my parents, they're against it completely. Like they just, every time they see me and they mention it, like they start giving me shit. And I'm like, do you guys want to see like my latest payment? And they're like, it's not real money. I'm like, well, it's sitting in my bank account, not yours. And maybe with like parents, like they just don't understand like risk and tolerance and us not wanting to work a 9 to 5 like they did for like 50 years. Like I'm not interested in working 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. It's super draining. You always have a boss. And like, let's say you guys make $250,000 a year from your 9 to 5 job, which I'll tell you right now, it's if you pick the right industry, it's easy. Like if you guys go into consulting, it's very easy to hit 200K, at least in Canadian dollars here in Canada, right? But once you get there, you'll realize that taxes are crazy. Once you do above like 260K, your taxes will be over 100K. So once you guys see that, so like let's say you grind your career, you make $250,000, you guys are senior VPs at major banks. You'll look at your T4, you'll see that you just paid over 6 figures in taxes, and you'll be like, what the hell? So you have really 2 options. You make more money, but for every 20K raise you make, that's only 10K more because half of it goes to taxes. You're in the highest tax bracket. And then B, there isn't much higher to advance. Like once you get in the $250,000 range, to get to like that next point, I would say that's maybe 100K more per year, you'll have to make an extra 200K. So that's like $500,000 a year. To make $500,000 a year, you'll have to be a business owner at that point. Even like senior vice presidents don't make that much. One of my old bosses, he was making, I think, 330. And after tax, it's not that much. So you start realizing that having your own business or trading are the only options. My lady still thinks it's a scam, but I haven't had okay, Clarence, we got to get you that top step payout. And then once you do, you'll take her out on a nice day and you'll say, candles and white charts with black and white candles has paid for this day. You're welcome. So Clarence, take it nice and slow. 150K account and just look at positions. If you're unsure, don't trade. Like if we're at a level in price action where I'm not sure and you take a trade, you know what that is? It's called gambling. So it's easy to gamble in these markets. Your ladies may be right about that, but it's just about finding the confluence factors, seeing a pattern repeat over and over again and executing it. LLC to come good. Clarence, are you in the positives right now do you have, how much time do we have? We have 14 minutes left. Clarence, yeah, it's 5 days of $200. So, and once you get your first one, your second one comes that much easier. And then your third one comes that much easier. And once you get that first one, it starts paying for some of the resets that you've done in the past. That anxiety, the stress, it starts melting away. So it's like, I feel like a lot of you, like if this is the mountain, like you guys are like right here. And this is the hardest part. Okay, so you just have to just tune your edge by 10% using first fair value gaps, wait for market shifts, use lower timeframes to confirm your entry, use higher timeframe bias. That's kind of what gets you over this peak and at your first payout. Have you tried Take Profit Trader? They offer daily payouts. No, I haven't. I'm not interested in daily payouts. Like what Top Step's offering me right now or Apex, it's you trade for either 5 or 10 days, you rack up a lot of money and get paid. If you can consistently make money, then it's not an issue. So don't think it that way that daily pay. Watch, I'm pretty sure Take Profit Trader is going to have something weird with their policy. I'm going to check right now. Take Profit. How often do you get withdrawal? So my first withdrawal, I want my accounts to be at least at 3K each. Right now they're at 2.1. So you need to rack up $900 more, and then I'll do a 1.5, maybe a 2K payout. But when it comes to a lot of these accounts, like Top Step, for example, the moment you do a withdrawal and you have any drawdown balance below 0, it pulls it to 0. So if I do a withdrawal right now, which I can, I'll show you guys. TopStepX.com. It's going to take my drawdown to like $1,000. So what does that mean? My future trades are going to be lower because my drawdown limit's only 1,000 versus 2,000. I'm going to have a bit more fear introduced. And in my opinion, I just rather have just not be paid out right now and trade with a bit more and make that extra 1 to 2K faster than securing 5K and trading more. But if you guys are thinking about like your first payout, honestly, the moment you guys get your first payout, just do a payout. Just get that feeling. This is kind of, I guess as of yesterday, this is what it's looking like right now. So here's one of my accounts. Let's see if we can, okay. So I have 5 winning days, which is payout. I could do now 3 contracts, which is good. But I'm trading nowhere close to that. Today, right now, it's sitting maybe around 2.1. So it's this price plus today's gains of 300. And then I'm just going to have to just continue scaling it up until it hits 4K. So This period was very hard to trade in. This was the Christmas period. I am never trading it again. Like once Christmas hits till New Year's, I'm not trading that time. It was very hard price action to trade through. Usually it was like a loss and a win. And then I broke even and I'm like, I'm done for the day. So hopefully I'll create a video. I'll call it, do a 10K payout with me. Once I get my accounts to 4K each. So maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, but I'm definitely taking it nice and slow. Hey man, hey, wish me well. Morning. I've passed the evaluation 3 times and I've gotten, guys, I can pass the evaluation for Apex within 5 minutes. You get a 50K account, just go long, for example, here. And it's one of 2 positions, right? You do this. It either hits you or it stops you out for $35. And if not, do it again. So you pay $100 to be fully funded and then take it nice and slow moving forward. Like oh, Dell, I started it. I'm just working on permissions. I'm learning about Discords. I'm creating channels. Give me some more time, guys. I'm setting it up right now. It's just, my focus right now is this live stream, studying ICT on the side, supporting everything else in my life. And then I'm trying to stand up the Discord as well. I'm aiming by Friday, end of week. That's my goal. So you guys will see. I'm not live streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow, the markets are closed. No one's trading, I think, tomorrow. Markets, let me see what it says here. Markets closed Jan 9th. It's the national mourning day of the 39th president in the United States, called President James Jimmy Carter. So tomorrow, all you guys have a day off trading. So let's see. Price is opening up in 9 minutes. Oh, this is so cool. This is the most concurrent views I had ever so far in the last 2 weeks. 16 viewers at once. Really cool. Okay. Let's see what price is going to do here. Okay. So 1 hour chart, the candles are sitting on the lower half of the SIBI. Good. I don't want to see this upper half being traded to if we're bearish. Okay. Price is rejecting. How much do I risk per trade on the XFA? $200 right now. It's always 10% of my trailing drawdown. So if my accounts are going to be up at 4K, then I'm trading 400 per account. Because in my opinion, taking 10 trades in a low, all losses is pretty difficult. So that's how I manage risk. Yeah. On like real money, I'd probably recommend like 1 to 2%. So if you have like $1,000 you're trading with like a real broker, I wouldn't risk more than 2%. So $1,000 would be like $20. But I'm assuming like once you guys get to personal accounts that you're trading, it's going to be sitting over like 50K. So each risk is going to be 1% being $500. And then if it's at that point, then take 25K out of your trader, keep it in a high interest savings account or invest into the S&P, and then still trade that 1%, $500, but only have 25K with the broker. Kind of mitigate your risk if anything happens, etc. That's what I do. CFD, Forex prop firms. I did Forex for the majority of my trading career. So FTMO was my go-to. I traded with some other shittier ones. I got rug pulled with, it was the very first prop firm that got banned by regulations. I forgot what it's called, but it happened 3 years ago. Essentially, all the accounts got frozen. I was 600K funded, and I really thought they would come back and give me my accounts, but they never did. So yeah. Okay. So what I was saying here, you got a SIBI here on the 1 hour. It's sitting in the lower half. This is okay. This rejection here was pretty aggressive though off of the weekly VI. We are sitting above the first fair value gap of January. It's funny how I'm actually referring to this right now, but you can see it's interesting how price is actually respecting it. So that's good to see. And it even added confluence to this trade, right? Because it was trading in the upper half of this first fair value gap and it just pounced higher to the end dog. So right now it's rejecting off of the lower or the upper half of the fair value gap of January. We do have the end dog above us. Let's see where yesterday's close is. Okay, so very important, guys. We have to understand before the market opens where yesterday's close is going to be. So it's going to be at 390. And the way I did this is on the bottom right of TradingView, there's a little button and it says either ETH or RTH. Electronic trade hour shows you all the time that has passed within or between open and close, and regular just shows you all price action between 9:30 to 4:14. Okay, so the gap that we're going to have is going to be probably to the downside in 5 minutes. We're going to be 40 handles below it. So the gap's going to look something like this when we open up the RTH gap, and this is a price where price hasn't traded to. And we have to see how it reacts to it, if it's going to go higher or lower. But it's a pretty small RTH gap. It is above 20 points. But what we want to do as well, and I do have an indicator. This is the indicator. It's called NWOG, NDOG, RTHG, and EH. It's going to automatically map, just like this on the 15-minute chart, the quadrants of the gap. And I can start seeing how price is going to be reacting to it. And the biggest takeaway that you guys would probably want to trade with is, give me one sec here, is within the first 30 minutes, there's a 70% chance that midpoint's going to be taken. So if you guys add that to your rules somehow, and we open bearish, wait for some kind of Judah lower retracement and targeting that midpoint, I think that's a very easy bread and butter setup. It's something that I look for. A bit harder when these gaps are so small, like at 50, but we'll see where price essentially gives us today. But all in all, it's like, if you look at the overall structure, we have relative equal lows below us. I think that's a draw. We have a small pool of liquidity above us as well. Price can definitely just shoot above all these levels and go higher. So we have to look at the breadcrumbs to see what price wants to do right now. But right now we're between these two levels here, right? Between this high, between these equal lows here on the 15-minute chart. And then if price doesn't tag these equal lows, is it going to continue going higher all the way to these relative equal highs that we've mapped earlier this week? I don't think so, right? It's going to be very difficult for the market to leave all this resting liquidity here before moving higher. So my prediction is we're going to tap these equal lows before going higher. The question is when is it going to be? Is it going to be today or is it going to be Friday? Friday's NFP, because tomorrow we're not trading. So this might be a move for NFP. I might do a live stream on NFP. It might just be, I'm not crazy about NFP personally, but it just might be candlestick reading, just so we understand how price is reacting to NFP. But all in all, that's kind of my thoughts for the open here. So let's see what price is going to do here. I'm going to remove some of these indicators that I have drawn here. I'm sure I can't get too messy. I'm going to remove this breaker here. We know that the breaker is there. And I'm just the next. So the breaker, this is going to be, let's call this breaker plus SIBI. Okay. It's a bit larger than this, but we kind of understand where the breaker starts and where there should be resistance, right? Maybe something like that. When it comes to breakers, that first candle on the 1 minute is usually the most sensitive. Technically, this entire run is the breaker, but that's how I usually just map my breakers out. Just want to see that first candle be ultra sensitive and shoot right through. All right. Today's stream is going to close at 10:30 in 1 hour. I'm not interested in taking anything past 10:30 on FOMC. All right. We are opening in 8 seconds. Like here we've got relative equal highs here. It's currently respecting the breaker in the CIVI. So I don't have a firm grasp of what the market's going to do next. But we'll see. It's pushing lower here. What would be nice is I want to see a push higher, taking out these relative equal lows, getting into the CIBI, aggressive rejection, and then that might be the first sign that we're going lower. Okay. So something like this would be like ideal, like something like up here, rejection, and then like taking it lower right there. Let's look at the 4 hour here. The 4 hour is going to close in 30 minutes. Hopefully it's not this like, if price closes high within the next 30 minutes, it might be a crazy low test indicating bullish strength, but we'll see here. This candle really is still meaningless until it closes. Okay, price, let's see what it's doing. So the very first thing that I always do after 9:30 is I look for what? I look for the first fair value gap after 9:30. Right? So this is the 9:30 candle. So this right here, this would not be your first fair value gap, okay? This is just gapping lower. But we are waiting for the first fair value gap. Whenever it's going to form. It also forms on the 15-second as well. It forms on all time frames ultimately. I think the 1 hour is weighted the heaviest, but I also map the 15-second one. And sometimes I pull trades off of the 15-second fair value gap. So this is probably going to be the 15-second fair value gap that's forming right here. There it is. It's on the 9:31 candle. Okay. In 5 seconds, it will confirm if this fair value gap is valid. 2, 1. Okay. This is it. This right here is the, what's in green here is the first fair value gap. Okay. First 15-second fair value. So all of you know what it is. Dark green on my charts are always the first fair value gap that we're looking at, other than this pink one here. That's from the 1st of January. Okay, so price opened lower, came back higher. It tried touching the midpoint of the RTH gap, dropped lower again, currently trading below this 15-second first fair value gap. Am I right now in love with a short? No. Was there manipulation? No. Do we have relative equal highs above us? These technically were taken here. Okay. We are sitting technically still in the lower half of this breaker in CIVI, which is fine, but I still see relative equal highs above us. We have a fair value gap here that we've just poked into and we pushed lower. For me to be confident in my trade, I would want to see some kind of manipulation, some pain in the market, and then taking the other way. Do I check ES? I do sometimes, but it's not something that makes or breaks my ES trades, but I do look at ES sometimes. You can see ES right now is definitely pushing the downside. So there is more pressure, or ES is weighted heavier. So you can see this like two ways. It's either NQ is going to catch up to ES, or NQ is strong and ES is going to turn around and go up, right? So I look at divergence if I do use it as the cherry on top for my trades. But right now, ES is heavier than NQ. There you go. So look how it rejected the 50-second fair value gap here. Body staying lower. Again, it's not a trade that I would take. But I'm waiting for some manipulation before I go in. Remember, today's FOMC, guys. If I were to go short here, for me, that'd be a gamble. It's like, I think it's probably going to go short from here, but there's a very, very, very high chance that I'm going to get stopped out, and then price is just going to continue higher, closing this RTH gap, maybe hitting these highs and then reversing. So, and look at that. There you go. Not shocked at all. What did price do here? Took out these lows that we formed right before 9:30. We still have some liquidity forming here, but you can see how strong. This is crazy, this first fair value gap of January 2025. It's definitely keeping price at the upside here. So if I was trading through this, it's either I catch a trade high up and then I break even before trying to attempt to break through this, or I wait for this to be broken to the downside. Just looking at how price is just reacting to it without much backtesting experience. Here we might have the first fair value gap on the 1 minute if price continues to go up for the next 30 seconds. So we'll see. Price just officially passed the midpoint of the RTH gap. It's pushing into the end dog of 1.8, and it may be hunting highs here. We'll see. Okay, price into the end dog here. Bodies are sticking within it. This is a nice rejection here on the 15-second. Price is dropping back down. We do have our first fair value gap officially formed right here. Okay. Okay. What we want to see is like this is going to be a level that adds to our bias of where price is going to go. Okay. So technically, that's what I like doing as well. Is I like mapping the first fair value gap on the 1 minute on the 15-second chart, both on the 15-second chart here. And I want to see how it's reacting to it. Usually when you trade off of it, that's what ICT says. Like you want to see a reaction into it, a push away from it, a fair value gap form, and then you essentially take that long or short. Okay. So it's not like price goes into it and we go long or short. It's you have to see a reaction from it, a fair value gap form, before taking it long or short. Like we do have a VI here that formed right after it, but that's not strong enough for me to take a trade long or short off of it. Like right now, I see price going to these relative equal lows or quad lows, depending on how we look at it. It can take out these triple highs here on the top. It did reject like the end dog here. Like it can go in many directions. I am team shorts regardless right now, gun to my head. But right now I'm not executing a short until I see some manipulation in the market. The easiest trades is after manipulation, taking that run with the market. Remember, we always have two sides of liquidity, and usually the wrong side is the side that gets taken first. So we got buy side here above us and sell side here below us. Here are the two levels right now that are very important to us within today's session. We might see price action that's just moving sideways for 9:30 to 10:30. It is FOMC, right? So today is a tough trading day to trade. ICT does not recommend trading this day if you guys want ICT's opinion. But he says if you do trade it, make sure that you're out by 10:30. So let's see if we can catch something by 10:30 today. Price is pushing right now into this first fair value gap. It's been rejected. See all these bodies all to the upside. Once I see displacement here to the lower, I think that might be indication that we're going to be continue dropping lower. This liquidity has just been taken here. See a possible trade off of the 1 minute could have been here where it displaces lower. Right, so here's the 15-second fair value gap that forms after this rejection. But I just personally don't like what we had above us to take it short. Right. So liquidity has been taken to the downside. Bodies are still staying on the upper half of this first fair value gap of January. Let me do this here. I'm transposing this first fair value gap of January to the 15-second chart just so we can see how the 15-second candles are respecting the high, the midpoint, and the low. Price right now, to be honest, the rejection here of this fair value gap is nice. Price action is sitting to the downside. We did tap this fair value gap, leaving the majority of it open. This is probably indicating that this is a bearish push. We're about to break this level here. We do have a level right here that we'll be trending into. I'm not too worried about that right now. What just happened? And then this is interesting. Let's see what we can. Just needs to have logic. A small fair value gap here that formed on the lower half. I just tapped it right here. That could be a potential entry short. I'm going to enter with 3 pips here. Or sorry, three minis. My entry was roughly right there. And let's see if I can get the end doc. This is an aggressive entry from mine, but let's see here. The expectation here is this first fair value gap is going to hold price. It created a fair value gap, pushed lower, broke below it, and price should be pushing to the downside now. I stopped sitting above the midpoint here. So it is well protected. Price here is closing below this SIBI here, so that's good. Once price pushes above this and the CE, then I might be in trouble, but we will see. It's a good reaction, staying on the lower half. It looks like I'm out here. So that was unfortunate. Can price continue pushing lower? Possibly could. Am I going to re-enter here? I don't think I will. But I did like how it broke to the downside here. Wait for the retest of the first fair value gap or break through it. Yep, it might be that as well there. So the 15-second right now is being retested. Everything here has been delivered very nicely to the downside. These are here instant rebalances to the downside. So it usually indicates that you're on side, that price is going to continue pushing lower. Even gaps performing to the downside during the down move. I thought it would just plummet from here personally, but it looks like price is currently going to the first fair value gap here, touching the lower half of the RTH gap. There you go. And there is the price right now is sitting above the first fair value gap of January. It rejected both of these levels. And this might be I think I just got in too early on this trade, going short. So price came back up, tagged the first fair value gap at 930, dropped lower. It's still sitting on the upper half of the purple fair value gap that we have here. Price is pushing back up into the first fair value gap. After 930, bodies are closing below it. It did wick to the very top of it. So again, it's the negative confluence factor of the trade that I took is it took liquidity. It dropped a lot below it. I really thought once it breaks this first fair value of January, it comes back up, retests, and just starts shooting lower. That's a signature that I saw a lot in price once it breaks key levels. comes back up, but it looks like it just decided to come back up to the first fair value gap here. So right now, price is just bouncing between. It might be going to this liquidity level right here, but let's wait and see. In 3 seconds, the 15-second, it looks like it closed at CE. It gapped higher, came back lower. It's currently sitting in the lower half of the RTH gap. Can be seen as resistance. This is FOMC trading. So see, the cleaner moves happen in the morning. It's a bit messier right now after 9:30. I personally got juked. But let's see here. Price is, the bodies are staying within this first fair value gap here. So it is respecting price. But just because of this first fair value of January and how it's rejecting, I can see it go either way. I'm tempted to take a short here, but I won't. See, after the rejection of this first fair value gap, there hasn't been any, and there's that displacement to the downside. It's currently sitting now on the upper half of the first fair value gap of January. This is called the 3 tries pattern, where it goes higher, 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 and then it drops. Frustrating. Okay, so here is a fair value gap that has formed after the rejection of the fair value gap. In 45 seconds. Well, it's not confirmed, but it may close like this. So let's wait a bit longer. So right now, price has been bouncing from 9:30 all the way till now, just back and forth between a couple of key levels. So this is not valid. Never close below it. I think of this. We haven't used at 10 o'clock. I think we do, right? Let's see. What did I say before? No, we don't. We just at 2 o'clock. So this right here, guys, this is high resistant trading. Seems manipulative, just bouncing between levels here. It hasn't picked a direction. We do have a pool of liquidity above us. Price went into this VI here. Rejected it. Usually when price really stagnates like this, it's either engineer liquidity or it just doesn't want to go higher and it starts pushing lower. Okay. We might get some clarity in 2 minutes. That's when the 950 algo kicks in. That's this line right here. But it's just crazy what it's doing right now, price. So liquidity to the downside has been taken. We still have this resting buy side liquidity here above us. Price has pushed to the upside of the 1 minute fair value gap. Nice displacement. It's coming back down right now. It's traded back down into Price on the 15 second, it traded to almost the CE of the RTH gap, dropped lower. It's rejecting the 1 minute fair value gap, and we're going to enter the macro right now. Let's see what price starts doing here. It might just start spooling higher here. So this liquidity resting above us. I think it will be. But this is nice, this kind of rejection. I took a small long here with my stop loss sitting below here for just 100 points or 100 for a stop loss. And I'm going to be targeting these relative equal highs here above us. And I am wrong once again. Price is just spooling back and forth here. So this right here, guys, this is top trading conditions in my opinion. Price has never picked a side. I thought it would once it broke this, or once it hit 950, starts pulling to the high upper side, but it looks like today is a day where I'll give it one more shot if something appears clean for today. Price is just gyrating right now around the 1 minute fair value gap. Here was my position that I tried taking. So price went into the end dog of 1.8. It's pushing lower. We have relative equal highs above us. It's rejecting the end dog of 1.8. It's pushing into the first fair value gap of January once again. If we zoom out a bit and see this craziness that's happening here. Let's see where price. Okay. It broke past the first fair value gap of January once again. And most likely, this is, I think, where the hump begins. Very tough, yeah. Our bias here is to the lows. The first fair value gaps haven't really been respected. They have, but it's just going up and down. So let's see what price is going to do here now. We have a 1 minute SIBI to the downside. Like, how do I position it? Position here? What would I want to see? I wouldn't want to see it break the midpoint here. It might get to this RTH gap. Like if I see it go into the RTH gap and close lower, I might try to grab one more short here. But thinking about the short here, it could have just taken liquidity from this low right here. It's rejecting this, the downside, this 15-second fair value gap. Looks like I closed above it. It's probably going to be pushing higher. It just tapped the fair value gap here on the 1 minute. Let's see how the bodies respect the CE here. Why are these two levels different? I'm not sure why So there was a rejection off of the low of this purple fair value gap. It's pushing up high right now to this red section. And right now I'm looking for the breadcrumbs here on the 15 seconds. So we had an inversion fair value gap to the downside, popped higher. Price is sitting on the upper half of this IAPG on the 15-second chart. 50-second order flow is commencing to be bullish, but we'll see how it does close. We want to see this stay respected. You can see here on the 15-second how the bodies are sticking above the midpoint of this inversion. Let me paint this orange. Touch the first minute fair value gap. Nice rejection lower. This red line, I'm not sure what it is. Let me remove it. This was a nice 1 minute rejection off of the midpoint. Bodies are still within it, but let me give me my final attempt for the day here. I'm taking a short right here. My high is going to be above the first fair value gap. And I'm going to be targeting right here. So right now, what has price showed during the macro, it did push lower. It broke the first fair value gap once again, came up higher. It's respecting bearish PD arrays. The 1 minute, the 1 minute fair value gap. The bodies were sticking below the CE or very close to it. It was just wicking slightly above it. But let's see here. And after this, I'm probably locking myself out for the rest of the day. It is just moving up and down and gyrating the way I don't want it to. Let's see how it respects this wick here, the last gap. Once it breaks above this fair value gap here, the last line of defense is going to be here, but this is more of trying to catch this run here at the high of the retracement. They rejected the first minute fair value gap. That was nice to see. Bodies are staying above the 50-second first fair value gap. Relative equal highs technically above us. But once it breaks this, thesis is done, and I am locked out of the day. So this was really tough trading conditions. Right when you think that price is going to go lower, it's just moving back and forth here. I can't predict these days. Technically, they happen on FOMC days. But other than that, not a lot of faith in price for today. I'm going to wait till 10:10 until the macro finishes, but most likely at 10:10, I'll close today's stream. If you guys did trade today and you guys caught a trade, congratulations, but this was Chop City today. Logic started to form, but then broke, started to form, but then broke again. So this is probably going to be my first losing day for the last 2 weeks. That's fine. I needed it to happen. Thanks for the commentary. This was tough. Yeah, it was. It was very tough. The morning was great, but unfortunately, post 9:30, and it might be doing this all the way till 2 o'clock, and then after 2 o'clock, there might be a smooth move, but I don't trade afternoons. So I think on that note, guys, there's nothing here that I'm waiting for. So without further ado, I'm going to close down the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, drop a like. But other than that, I'll see you guys on Friday. I won't be trading NFP on Friday. I'm just going to be just reviewing price action and what price will be doing. NFP is a very hard day to trade. And it's a day that I don't trade. So my next trading day is going to be on Monday, the 13th. And we're going to attempt to pull some money from the markets there. But on that note, guys, talk soon. Have a good rest of the week. And we'll see you maybe on Friday, but for sure on Monday. Bye for now.